I walked into my boss's office expecting a raise. Instead, I got front row seats to watch the woman sleeping with my husband pretend she didn't know who I was. My name is Remington, and I've spent the last 3 years climbing the corporate ladder at Holland Strategies, becoming the company's most reliable project manager. Today was supposed to be about the new expansion project in Singapore. At least, that's what the meeting invitation said. Melissa sat behind her mahogany desk, manicured fingers drumming against her coffee mug. "Take a seat, Rem." She only called me that when she wanted something. "The board's impressed with your performance on the Thompson account." I smiled. The same practice smile I'd been wearing since finding the hotel receipts in Cameron's jacket 2 months ago. "Thank you. The team worked incredibly hard. That's actually why I called you in." She leaned forward, her Cartier bracelet catching the morning light. "We're launching a major initiative overseas. I need someone I can trust to handle the preliminary groundwork." The irony of her wanting someone trustworthy made my stomach turn. "I'm interested. What's the timeline looking like?" 6 months, maybe longer." She checked her phone as it buzzed, her expression flickering for just a moment. I knew that look. I'd seen it on my husband's face countless times lately. "We'll need you to travel extensively." "Cameron would hate that," I said, watching her carefully. "He's always complaining about how much I work already." Her poker face was impressive, I'll give her that. But I caught the slight tightening around her eyes. "How is Cameron? I haven't seen him at any company events lately." "Oh, you know how he is." I did, and apparently so did she. "Always busy with something or other." Her phone buzzed again. This time she turned it face down. "Well, think about the opportunity. It could fast-track you to senior management." As I stood to leave, Bethany knocked and poked her head in. "Sorry to interrupt, but your 11 o'clock is here early. The client from Dubai?" "Send him in." Melissa straightened her blazer. "We'll continue this discussion later, Rem." I passed a middle-aged man in an expensive suit on my way out. At my desk, I pulled out my own phone and checked the security camera feed Bethany had helped me access weeks ago. Sure enough, within 10 minutes, Melissa was texting under her desk while nodding along to whatever her client was saying. "How'd it go?" Bethany appeared with 2 coffees, sliding one toward me. "Same as always. She's dangling promotions while screwing my husband." "You're sure about that?" I pulled up the photo I'd taken of Melissa's car parked outside my house last week, timestamp reading 2:43 a.m. "Pretty sure." "Jesus." Bethany sank into the chair beside me. "What are you going to do?" "Nothing." I sipped my coffee. "Yet. You're scary when you're calm like this." I learned from the best. I nodded toward Melissa's office. She taught me everything I know about playing the long game. My phone vibrated. Unknown number. I opened the text. "Your husband is seeing someone else. Guess who?" I showed it to Bethany, who nearly choked on her coffee. "Holy shit, who sent that?" "Doesn't matter." I deleted the message. "They're late to the party." "You really think she has no idea you're married to Cameron?" I thought about all the times Melissa had said my last name in meetings, all the times she'd signed off on my healthcare forms that listed him as my spouse. "Oh, she knows. She just thinks I'm too stupid to figure it out. That's her mistake," Bethany whispered. "No," I said, watching through the glass as Melissa laughed at something her client said, all while her hand stayed near her phone. "Her mistake was thinking she could take what's mine, and I'd just roll over and accept it." The Dubai client left, and Melissa's door closed again. Through the glass, I watched her immediately grab her phone, probably texting my husband. That's fine. Let them have their secret conversations, their stolen moments, their illusion of control. I'd waited 2 months already. I could wait a little longer. After all, the best revenge isn't served cold. It's served in front of witnesses. 2 days after the Singapore project meeting, I decided to push my luck. Melissa always arrived early, usually around 7, and I wanted to catch her alone. What I didn't expect was to find her crying. I knocked softly on her open door. "Melissa, I wanted to discuss the promotion timeline." The words died in my throat. She sat at her desk, mascara running down her cheeks, clutching her phone like a lifeline. For a moment, we just stared at each other, the invincible CEO and her unsuspecting employee, frozen in this bizarre tableau. "I'm so sorry. I started backing away. I should have scheduled... No, wait. She wiped her eyes quickly. Close the door. I did, my heart hammering. This wasn't part of my plan. Sit down, Rem. Her voice cracked. I could actually use someone to talk to right now. I perched on the edge of the chair, watching her try to rebuild her composure. Is everything okay? No. She laughed bitterly. Nothing's okay. The man I've been seeing, he's leaving me. For someone younger. My fingers dug into the armrests. I'm so sorry to hear that. 3 years. She shook her head. 3 years of my life, and he throws it away for some 20-something intern. The room started spinning. An intern? That wasn't right. Cameron hadn't mentioned any intern. Have you met her? I heard myself ask. Sasha. Melissa spat the name like poison. She started last month in marketing. God, I'm such an idiot. I forced myself to lean forward, to play the sympathetic colleague. You couldn't have known. The worst part? She grabbed a tissue. He said he might consider coming back if I made some changes. Professional changes. What do you mean? He wants me to create a VP position. Said it would help him feel more... secure. She laughed again, hollow and raw. Can you believe that? Using our relationship to climb the corporate ladder? My stomach lurched, not because of Cameron's manipulation. I'd expected that. But because there was apparently another woman in the picture, one I hadn't known about. What are you going to do? I asked. I don't know. She stood up, walking to the window. Part of me wants to give him what he wants. Is that pathetic? It's human, I said, though the words tasted like ash. You're lucky, Rem. She turned to face me. Your marriage seems so stable. Cameron must be a great guy. I nearly choked. He has his moments. I should clean up before people start arriving. She gestured to her face. Thank you for listening. And please, keep this between us. Of course. I stood up. That's what friends are for. The moment I left her office, I texted Bethany. 911, coffee shop, now. We met at the place around the corner. I told her everything. Holy shit, she whispered. So he's playing both of them. Apparently. I stirred my untouched latte, and neither knows about the other. What about this Sasha person? Is she for real? I need you to find out everything you can about her. I pulled out my phone, showing Bethany the company directory. There she is. Sasha Davis. Started 4 weeks ago. Bethany's eyes widened. Wait, I know her. She was at the copy machine yesterday, bragging about dating some executive. Get closer to her, I said. Find out what she knows. What are you going to do about Melissa? I watched through the window as other employees started arriving at the office, all of them unaware of the drama unfolding in their midst. Nothing yet. Let her think she has a friend in me. Let her keep crying on my shoulder about the man who's betraying her, while she betrays me. And Cameron? He came home last night talking about a business trip next week. I finally took a sip of my coffee. Funny how Melissa mentioned the same trip in yesterday's meeting. Bethany shook her head. This is like a soap opera. No, I said, standing up. This is karma, and it's just getting started. We walked back to the office together, passing Melissa's now closed door. Inside, I could hear her on the phone, her voice soft and pleading. Probably talking to my husband, begging him to choose her over Sasha. Little did she know, she was about to lose everything, not just Cameron, but her company, her reputation, and her power. All because she picked the wrong woman's husband to steal. You're not seriously going to let them both get away with this? Lara set another shot of tequila in front of me. My sister had always been the wild one, tending bar while I played corporate climber. Tonight, I was grateful for her after-hours access to alcohol. I'm not letting anyone get away with anything. I downed the shot. I'm just waiting for the right moment. Waiting? She leaned across the empty bar. Mum waited. Look where that got her. The mention of our mother sent me right back to being 16, listening to her sob in the kitchen after finding Dad's letters to his girlfriend. This is different. Is it? Mum forgave him, took him back, and he left anyway. Now she's bitter and alone, making everyone else miserable. Lara poured herself a shot, including us. Remember last Thanksgiving? I asked. When she told me I was wasting my potential being just a project manager, while my husband actually did something with his life. Yeah, and now that husband is screwing your boss and some intern. Lara's eyes lit up. The company gala's next month, right? I nodded. Why? Because that's when you destroy them. All of them. In public. I can't just... Yes, you can. She pulled out her phone, showing me a video. Security footage from the office parking garage, showing Cameron pressing Melissa against her car, kissing her neck. Bethany sent this to me, said you needed motivation. My hands shook as I watched. When was this? 2 weeks ago? She took the phone back. The night he told you he was working late on the Peterson account. The familiar rage bubbled up. The same rage I'd felt at 17, when Mum slapped me for suggesting she divorce Dad. You're right, I whispered. They all need to pay. Now you're talking. Lara grinned. What's the plan? The gala's theme is rising stars. Melissa always gives this big speech about mentorship and loyalty. I laughed bitterly. Usually, department heads speak after her, but this year, I heard she's changing things up. How so? She's having junior employees speak about their mentors. Guess who she picked to talk about her? Lara's eyes widened. No way. She probably thinks it'll help sell the promotion story when she makes me VP. I pulled out my phone, showing Lara the email. She wants me to talk about how she's shaped my career, guided me, supported me. That's perfect. Lara clapped her hands. Instead of kissing her ass, you expose everything. It's not that simple. I need proof that'll stick. Something they can't deny. Like a sex tape. Like emails. I smiled. Bethany's been tracking their correspondence. Melissa's not as careful as she thinks she is. She forwards everything to her personal email, including the dirty stuff. Can Bethany access that? Not yet. But Melissa's password is probably the same one she uses for everything else. I showed Lara another email. Look who just got assigned to help her update all her login credentials. Holy shit. Lara poured 2 more shots. You're actually going to do this. Remember what Mum always said? A lady never causes a scene. I raised my glass. Well, I'm about to cause a fucking hurricane. We clinked glasses just as my phone buzzed. Bethany again, this time with a link to more security footage. The thumbnail showed Melissa's office after hours. Watch it later, Lara said. When you're ready? I shook my head. I need to see everything. Every lie, every betrayal. It'll make it easier to do what needs to be done. You know, Mum will say you're overreacting, that you should work it out, keep quiet, be dignified. Mum spent 20 years being dignified. All it got her was a broken marriage and 2 daughters who can barely stand to be in the same room with her. I stood up, steadier than I expected. I'm not making her mistakes. What about Cameron? Once this goes public, there's no going back. I thought about the way he kissed me goodbye this morning, like nothing was wrong, like he wasn't destroying everything we'd built. Good, I said, because I don't want to go back. I want to burn it all down and dance in the ashes. Lara raised her glass one final time. To karma. No, I corrected her, thinking of the gala, of Melissa's face when she realizes what's coming, of Cameron's world imploding in front of everyone who matters to him. To justice. The next morning, I had a wicked hangover and absolute clarity. The countdown to the gala had begun. Did you hear about Melissa's meltdown in the budget meeting? Dallas perched on the edge of my desk, coffee in hand. The office gossip never missed a chance to spread news. She completely lost it when marketing asked for additional funding. Really? I feigned surprise. That doesn't sound like her. Apparently, she zeroed in on some junior staff member. Sasha something. Kept asking about her expense reports. I hid my smile behind my monitor. The anonymous tip about Sasha's padded expense claims had worked perfectly. How strange. Melissa's usually so composed. Something's definitely up. Dallas leaned closer. Between you and me, I heard she's been crying in her office. No, I gasped, playing my part. But she seemed fine when we discussed the Singapore project. Speaking of projects, Dallas glanced around before continuing. Abraham from HR said they're investigating some inappropriate relationships between senior management and staff. Right on cue, Bethany appeared with a tablet. Sorry to interrupt, but Melissa needs these signed ASAP. I took the tablet, noticing the screen wasn't showing documents, but rather a text conversation between Cameron and Melissa. K. Can't do tonight. Wife suspicious. M. Make something up. I need to see you. K. It's complicated. Sasha's getting pushy too. M. What do you mean too? Are you sleeping with her? K. We need to talk, in person. I'll get these right back to her, I said loudly, making sure Dallas caught a glimpse of the messages before Bethany whisked the tablet away. Dallas's eyes widened. Was that? I'm sure it's nothing, I said smoothly. Hey, aren't you having lunch with the marketing team today? He practically sprinted toward the elevator, no doubt ready to share what he'd seen. Bethany returned to my desk. Phase 1 complete. Dallas will have that spread across 3 departments by lunch. Perfect. I checked my watch. Cameron should be home soon. He texted earlier about needing to talk. Are you ready? As I'll ever be. I packed up early, driving home to find Cameron already there, pacing our living room. We need to talk, he said, not meeting my eyes. Okay. I sat down, calm as still water. Talk. This isn't easy. He ran his hands through his hair. I think we need some time apart. Why? I've met someone. He finally looked at me. Her name is Sasha. She makes me happy. I waited for him to mention Melissa. He didn't. How long? I asked. It just happened. She's new at work and we connected immediately. He had the audacity to smile. She helps me focus on happiness? Happiness, I repeated. Like Melissa helped you focus on happiness? The colour drained from his face. What? Or does Sasha know about Melissa? Do they know about each other? I don't... Save it. I stood up. I've known for months. About the hotels, the late meetings, the business trips that mysteriously aligned with Melissa's schedule. Rem, I can explain. Can you explain the security footage? The texts? The fact that you're sleeping with both my boss and her new intern? He stumbled backward. How did you... I'm not as stupid as you think I am. I walked to the door, opening it. Pack your things, tonight. Where am I supposed to go? Ask Sasha, or Melissa. I'm sure one of them has room for you. I smiled sweetly. Just don't mention the other to either of them. You're being hysterical, he tried. Let's talk about this rationally. Rational? I laughed. Rational would be telling HR, or the board, or maybe the industry blogs that love corporate scandals. You wouldn't. Try me. I checked my phone. Oh, look. Melissa's calling you right now. Better answer it. She seemed pretty upset about those expense reports Sasha's been filing. His phone buzzed again as I walked out, leaving him standing in our living room, his perfectly constructed house of lies beginning to crumble. In my car, I called Bethany. It's done. He's moving out. How did he take it? Like a coward. Didn't even confess about Melissa. I started the engine. How's our girl doing? Melissa's losing it. She just fired 2 people for disloyalty and scheduled an emergency meeting about professional boundaries. Perfect. I pulled out of the driveway, watching Cameron through the window, frantically typing on his phone. The gala's going to be interesting. Speaking of which, Bethany said, wait until you see what Sasha's planning to wear. Same dress as Melissa, in the same colour. I smiled. Sometimes karma needs a little help, but once it starts rolling, it's beautiful to watch. You need to hear this, Bethany whispered, pulling me into the empty conference room. She held up her phone, playing a recording from earlier that morning. Sasha's voice came through clearly. I've got them both wrapped around my finger. Melissa's practically begging me to take that junior executive position, and Cameron's talking about leaving his wife. Another voice, presumably another intern. Aren't you worried they'll find out about each other? Please, Sasha laughed. Melissa's too desperate to keep me happy, and Cameron's too stupid to realise he's being played. By the time this is over, I'll have his connections and her job. I sat down heavily. When did you record this? Break room 20 minutes ago. She's not even trying to be subtle anymore. Through the glass walls, I watched Melissa storm past, her face tight with barely controlled rage. 3 steps behind her, Sasha followed, all innocent eyes and concerned expression. Did you see what Melissa did this morning? Bethany asked. No, I was in meetings. What happened? She demoted Marcus from marketing, gave his position to guess who? Sasha, I said flatly. The office is taking bets on who's next. Everyone's terrified. My phone buzzed. Cameron calling for the 5th time today. I declined it. He's still trying to explain, Bethany asked. Apparently, he's confused and needs time to figure things out. I rolled my eyes. Meanwhile, he's moved in with Sasha. Does Melissa know? Oh yeah, Dallas made sure of that, I smiled. He told her during their one-on-one this morning. Right on cue, Melissa's voice echoed down the hallway. What do you mean the presentation isn't ready? The client meeting is in an hour. I'm still waiting on numbers from accounting, Sasha's sweet voice replied. Fix it, now. Melissa slammed her office door. Bethany winced. She's losing it. Good. I stood up. The more unstable she gets, the better. Speaking of unstable, Bethany nodded toward the elevator, where my mother Gwendolyn was stepping out, looking perfectly coiffed and utterly out of place. What the hell is she doing here? Remington, darling. Mum's voice carried across the office. We need to talk about this ridiculous situation with Cameron. Every head turned. I grabbed her arm, steering her toward the stairs. Not here. In the stairwell, she rounded on me. Your sister told me everything. You're making a terrible mistake. By what? Not quietly accepting my husband's affairs? Affairs happen, dear. The trick is managing them discreetly. Like you did with Dad? Her face hardened. I kept our family together. No, you kept your pride together. And look how well that turned out. At least I didn't cause a scene. She straightened her designer jacket. This vendetta you're planning? It's beneath us. Us? I laughed. There is no us, Mum. There never was. You chose your reputation over your daughter's every single time. I chose dignity. You chose weakness. I opened the door. And I'm not you. Remington, the gala's next week. Don't bother coming. You wouldn't want to witness your daughter causing a scene. Back at my desk, Bethany was waiting with news. The speaking order for the gala changed. Melissa wants you to go right after her opening remarks. She's trying to throw me off balance. Will it work? I watched Sasha sashay into Melissa's office, watched my boss's face darken with barely controlled jealousy, watched the whole house of cards trembling on its foundation. No, I said. It won't. My phone buzzed again, this time a text from Lara. Mum called. Says you're making a huge mistake. Please tell me you're still going through with it. I typed back. The mistake was theirs? Thinking I'd just roll over and take it? Like mother, like daughter? Not this time. Through the glass, I saw Melissa wipe away a tear, while Sasha pretended not to notice. Two predators, each thinking they were the hunter, not realizing they were all about to become prey. The gala couldn't come soon enough. The Grand Meridian Hotel ballroom sparkled with champagne flutes and fake smiles. I adjusted my red dress, the same shade as Melissa's thanks to Bethany's intel, and watched the drama unfold from the bar. Showtime, Lara whispered, squeezing my hand. She'd pulled strings to bartend the event, ensuring I had eyes everywhere. Melissa worked the room like the professional she was, but I caught her flinch when Cameron walked in with Sasha on his arm. The intern wore a dress that probably cost 3 months' salary, no doubt charged to the company card Melissa had given her. Your speech ready? Bethany appeared beside me, clutching her phone like a lifeline. Born ready. I sipped my champagne. How's our timing? Perfect. The moment you start talking, every screen in this room will sync to my tablet. Dallas swooped by, already tipsy. Did you see Melissa's face when they walked in? I thought she was going to spontaneously combust. Just wait, I murmured. The lights dimmed. Melissa took the stage, resplendent in her designer dress and practiced confidence. Welcome to our annual celebration of excellence, she began. Tonight is about recognition, about honoring those who demonstrate unwavering loyalty. I almost laughed at that word. Loyalty. We have a special treat tonight, she continued. One of our rising stars will share her journey. Someone who exemplifies our values of trust and dedication. Please welcome Remington Riley. The crowd applauded. Cameron's head snapped up at my name, finally noticing me. Sasha whispered something in his ear. I walked to the podium, my heels clicking against the marble floor. Melissa touched my arm as we passed, a gesture that probably looked maternal to the audience. "Thank you, Melissa." I smiled directly at her. "You're right. Tonight is about truth and loyalty." Bethany's finger hovered over her tablet. 3 years ago, I joined this company believing in those values, believing in leadership that practiced what they preached. I paused, letting my eyes find Cameron's. But sometimes the people we trust the most are the ones who betray us most deeply. Melissa shifted in her seat. "For instance," I continued, "my husband has been sleeping with my boss for the past 3 years." The room went deadly silent. On every screen around the ballroom, security footage began playing, Melissa and Cameron in various compromising positions around the office. "Oh, but that's not all." I turned to where Sasha sat, now pale as a ghost. "He's also been sleeping with our newest intern." And the best part, neither of them knew about the other. Emails flashed across the screens. Explicit messages, hotel receipts, expense reports showing identical dates and locations. "Remington, stop this immediately." Melissa stood up, her voice shaking. "Why? Isn't this what you wanted? Transparency? Truth?" I gestured to the evidence surrounding us. "Or did you only want those values when they served you?" "Security!" Melissa shouted, but no one moved. "Don't bother," I said. "They're all too busy watching you implode, just like you watched me every day, knowing you were destroying my marriage." Sasha suddenly stood up, her face twisted with rage. She marched straight to Melissa and slapped her hard across the face. "You told me he was yours, that his wife was just a convenience." Cameron tried to intervene. "Baby, I can explain." "Baby?" Melissa laughed hysterically. "You called me that last week." The room erupted into chaos. Board members whispered furiously among themselves. Phones recorded everything. Dallas looked like Christmas had come early. "By the way," I added into the microphone, "copies of all this evidence have been sent to HR, the board of directors, and several very interested journalists. I'd check your phones." Melissa lunged for the podium, but Bethany stepped in front of me. "I wouldn't," she warned. "The night's not over yet." "You're fired," Melissa snarled at me. "All of you." "Actually," Abraham from HR stood up, "given the evidence of sexual harassment, misuse of company resources, and violation of multiple ethics policies, I think you'll find you're the one who needs to leave, Melissa." Cameron tried to slink toward the exit, but Sasha blocked his path. "Where do you think you're going?" I stepped down from the podium, walking past my shell-shocked husband and his 2 devastated lovers. At the door, I turned back one last time. "Thank you all for coming tonight. As Melissa said, it's been a celebration of truth and karma." The last thing I saw before leaving was Melissa crumpling into a chair, mascara running down her face, while Sasha and Cameron screamed accusations at each other in front of everyone who mattered in their professional lives. Sometimes revenge isn't just sweet, it's necessary. The morning after the gala, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Journalists, colleagues, even old college friends wanted comments. But the message that caught my eye came from Abraham in HR. "Board emergency meeting. 9 a.m. Your presence requested." I walked into the conference room to find 6 grim-faced board members and a lawyer I didn't recognize. Abraham gave me a subtle thumbs up. "Ms. Riley," the board chairman began, "we've reviewed the evidence you presented last night. The situation is unprecedented." "I have more," I said, sliding a USB drive across the table, including recordings Sasha made of her conversations with both Melissa and Cameron. The lawyer picked up the drive. "About that, Ms. Davis has come forward with some interesting information." Right on cue, Sasha walked in, looking nothing like the glamorous seductress from last night. Her makeup-free face and conservative suit painted a different picture entirely. "Tell them what you told me," the lawyer prompted. Sasha cleared her throat. "I was hired by the SEC 3 months ago to investigate allegations of corporate misconduct at Holland Strategies." My jaw dropped. "You're an investigator?" "Undercover." She smiled apologetically. "Your evidence actually helps our case. Melissa wasn't just sleeping with employees. She was using sexual relationships to manipulate stock trades and insider information." The chairman rubbed his temples. "Ms. Holland resigned this morning, via email." "And Cameron?" I couldn't help asking. Your husband's been implicated in several questionable trades, Sasha replied. He's cooperating with authorities in exchange for leniency. My phone buzzed again. Speaking of the devil. Cameron's text read, Please call me, I can explain everything. I deleted it without responding. The press is having a field day, Abraham said, pulling up various news sites. Headlines screamed, Corporate Karma, CEO's Secret Affairs Exposed Trading Scandal, and Hell Hath No Fury, Employee Exposes Executive Love Triangle. Which brings us to you, the chairman said. Your position here is secure, the lawyer interrupted, unless you want a retaliation lawsuit on top of everything else. Actually, I stood up. I've received several interesting offers since last night, including one from your biggest competitor. The chairman blanched. We were hoping you'd consider taking over Melissa's client portfolio temporarily. Help stabilize things. At what title and salary? Director level. Immediate promotion. I pretended to consider it. I'll need 48 hours to decide. Walking out, I found Bethany waiting with coffee. How'd it go? Exactly as planned. I showed her the competitor's offer on my phone. Think they'll match it? They'd be idiots not to. She grinned. Oh, and you might want to check your email. That podcast interview we recorded last week just went live. My phone rang. Lara this time. Turn on the news. Melissa's being interviewed outside her apartment. I pulled up the live stream. Melissa stood surrounded by reporters, her perfect image cracking under pressure. These allegations are false, she was saying. Remington Riley is a disgruntled employee trying to... What about the SEC investigation? A reporter shouted. Melissa's face went white. Behind her, I spotted Cameron trying to dodge cameras while carrying boxes to his car. No further comments, Melissa snapped, rushing inside. Holy shit, Bethany whispered. She really had no idea about Sasha. None of us did. I actually felt a grudging respect for the undercover agent's performance. Wonder what other secrets she uncovered? My phone buzzed yet again, an unknown number. The text read, This is Sasha. Coffee? There's more you should know. Going somewhere? Bethany asked as I grabbed my purse. To hear the rest of the story. I paused at the door. Want to come? Are you kidding? After last night, I'm not missing anything. As we rode the elevator down, another text came through. From my mother. The scandal is all over my social circle. How could you embarrass the family like this? I typed back, Funny. I've never felt less embarrassed in my life. The doors opened to reveal a small crowd of reporters. Before they could approach, a sleek black car pulled up. The window rolled down, revealing Sasha in the driver's seat. Need a ride? She called out. I've got quite a story to tell. I slid into the passenger seat, Bethany in the back. Sometimes karma needs a little help from unexpected allies, and sometimes those allies turn out to be federal agents wearing wiretaps. Either way, I couldn't wait to hear what else Melissa and Cameron had been hiding. Sign here, my lawyer said, sliding the divorce papers across her desk, and initial here. Through the office window, I could see the courthouse steps where reporters had gathered, hoping to catch more drama from the Holland Strategies implosion. The SEC investigation had revealed far more than just office affairs. Insider trading, corporate espionage, and enough financial fraud to keep prosecutors busy for years. My phone lit up with a news alert. Former CEO Melissa Holland pleads guilty to securities fraud. Done, I said, signing the last page. How long until it's final? 30 days. Though given everything that's come out, Cameron's lawyer advised him not to contest anything. Smart move. I gathered my things, especially since he'll need that lawyer for his criminal case. Outside, Bethany waited in her car. Ready for your big meeting? As I'll ever be. I smoothed my blazer. Did Sasha send the final numbers? Just came through. The SEC's evidence is devastating. The board is offering you full control of the restructured company, plus a seat for yourself. I smiled, remembering Melissa's face when Sasha revealed her true identity in that coffee shop. The mighty CEO had crumbled, realizing her lover wasn't just an intern, but a federal agent who'd recorded every illegal request, every insider tip, every manipulation. My phone rang. My mother again. I declined the call. Still not talking to her? Bethany asked as we drove. She sent me a text yesterday saying I should take the high road and help Cameron through his legal troubles. I laughed. Some patterns never change. Speaking of patterns, Bethany nodded toward the office building entrance where Dallas stood, practically vibrating with excitement. You'll never believe what just happened, he called out as we approached. Sasha's testimony went public, the part about Melissa using the company jet for personal meetings. With the SEC's blessing, I added. Amazing what people will confess to avoid prison time. Inside, Abraham met us by the elevators. Board's waiting. You ready to take over? Actually, I handed him an envelope. I have a counter-proposal. The boardroom fell silent as I laid out my terms. I'd help stabilize the company, but as an independent consultant. No golden handcuffs, no corporate politics. But we need you, the chairman protested. No, I said firmly. You need what I represent. Transparency, integrity, actual loyalty. And you can have that, on my terms. My phone buzzed. Lara sending a photo of the morning paper. The headline read, Corporate Whistleblower Launches Ethics Consulting Firm. You're starting your own company? The chairman asked, seeing the article. Someone has to help other businesses avoid becoming the next Holland Strategies scandal. I stood up. Consider my firm your first step toward redemption. Walking out, I felt lighter than I had in years. No more pretending, no more swallowing betrayals, no more playing by other people's rules. Drinks? Bethany suggested. Lara's bar. Can't. Meeting my first client at 4. Who? Your new CEO. I grinned. Turns out, getting publicly humiliated makes companies very interested in ethical oversight. At the curb, a familiar figure waited. Sasha, now dressed in her official FBI blazer. Heard you turned down the CEO position, she said. Learned from the best. I nodded at her. Sometimes the most power comes from working outside the system. Speaking of power, she handed me a file. Thought you might want to see this before it hits the news. Your ex-husband just rolled over on everyone, including your mother's investment group. I flipped through the pages, seeing years of financial fraud laid bare. She always said appearances mattered more than anything. Well, Sasha smiled. She's about to appear in federal court. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from Cameron. I'm sorry for everything. I deleted it without responding. Some apologies come too late. Ready? Bethany asked, watching me. Yeah, I said, walking away from the building that had housed so many lies. I'm done looking back. Revenge hadn't fixed everything, but it had freed me to build something better, a life where truth wasn't negotiable, where loyalty meant something real, where power came from integrity rather than manipulation, and that was worth every burning bridge behind me.